Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tales of Woe. This is going to be a video game episode. I want to do different themes and stuff for different episodes, and GTA, the remastered edition of the GTA trilogy just came out yesterday, as I'm recording this, and Knights of the Old Republic, it's not really a remaster or anything, it's just they put it on Nintendo Switch. So it made me think those are two games or I guess 4 games I love. So I thought this episode would be a bit talking about video games and shit. And I thought it would be fun. I got my Fallout hat. I got my, I don't know if you can read that. It says, Carthonassi is a whiny bitch. If you've played KOTOR, you should get that reference. So now let's get into the meat of this episode. Video games. Like I said, the new trilogy, or not the new, the remastered Grand Theft Auto trilogy just came out, and KOTOR on Switch just came out. And so first I'll talk about the GTA trilogy, and then I'll start talk about KOTOR, and then just some of the game consoles I remember I mostly played, because there's a lot I didn't play. I have like a weird kind of past with video games just because of my age, and the things I played are just kind of strange, but a little bit, probably not really actually, but yeah, I missed out on a little bit of stuff. But the Grand Theft Auto, I think it's getting a lot of shit, I guess, online from the way it looks. I'm not sure. It just came out, and I haven't watched any reviews for it from anybody else. I have seen before when they I was watching some people when they gave like shots of what it was gonna look like before it came out. People were freaking out about how it looked kind of shitty. And so here's what I'll say. I don't know what anybody else is saying about the gameplay, about anything. Like I said, I haven't seen anybody talk about it except the first. God, I keep fucking burping. I'm sorry. I apologize. The first few looks were the only things I heard people talk about, and they were just kind of shitting on how it looks. So this is what I'll say. I think it plays great. I think it plays much better than the old one. I think it does look good. What I'll say doesn't look good is the character models. The character models are fucked. It looks like they just took the character models from the original San Andreas, and then just kind of brightened them a bit, but they didn't. They just still look really fucked and weird, especially with the new shit, because it's like, it's like they didn't update the clothes at all. It's like the way everything sits, it just doesn't look right. And it's weird because if you see the vehicles, if you see the landscapes, I think all that stuff looks pretty good. Actually, I think the game works fine. I think it runs fine. I think it feels really good. I haven't been having any problems with that so far. I'm, not too far. I'm only a couple hours into it so far, but I like. Oh, and what I'm talking about too is, so there's the trilogy, right? But there's you can either buy the trilogy, or I think on PlayStation you can play maybe Vice City or Grand Theft Auto 3, and I know on Xbox, if you have Game Pass right now, you can play San Andreas for free. So that's what I've been playing, is San Andreas. I will probably get the full trilogy because I really want to play actually number 3, because I played that game a lot when I was younger, and I would rent it a lot. So I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 3 for such a long time, but I've played like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I played not that long ago on my phone just because I wanted to play it, and I had my Xbox One controller, and I just paired it with Bluetooth and played it on my phone, and it worked fine. It felt like old GTA. I mean, I played Vice City so fucking much in my life, and I love it, and I want to play the remaster as well. But it's like $80 for all 3 games, so I'm probably gonna wait a bit to that. I might wait till Christmas or something. I don't know, but I will get it eventually. But right now, I'm just playing San Andreas, and I'm super stoked with that. I like it a lot. But yeah. So if anybody else is saying shit, I don't know what everybody else is saying, but I would say it's not a bad game. It just, the character models look fucked. That's what I'd say is like Carl and Big Smoke, and it's like they look the same. They look like old Carl, but that's a bit of a problem. It's like it's like they microdosed you acid, and the only thing that's affected is like the character models, because it's like the times I've been on acid, I don't think that it was very strong. But for me, everything just got really bright and stuff, but nothing else really changed for me at all. And so that's what I feel that it's like with GTA, with the character models, just like everything is like a little bit brighter. They're like a little bit shinier, but they just look like shit still. But it's still better. It's still better than San Andreas. If you watch San Andreas, like the original San Andreas, it's still better. But I would say it's still, excuse me, it still looks a bit shitty. But I think it plays good. I don't think that's that big of a deal. If you're a real stickler for that, maybe you might care. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So that's my that's my idea on that. And now I'll talk about KOTOR, which is one of my, if not my favorite video games ever. I would say competing is like that and Fable for probably that. Fable and Skate 3, I would say, are probably the games I've played the fucking most in my life. I have KOTOR on every possible thing you could have KOTOR on. I have it on it. I love it. KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2. I fucking love them both. I think I love KOTOR 1 more than KOTOR 2, but I do like KOTOR 2 a lot. But yeah, I just fucking love it. If you haven't played it, I don't know that it necessarily has aged well. I would say if you're going to play KOTOR at all, there's supposed to be a reboot, whatever they fucking, I forgot the words. Whatever they did to Grand Theft Auto, right? They're gonna do to KOTOR soon, and so I'm super excited for that. I don't know when that's actually gonna come out or if it's actually gonna be any good, but I am excited for that a lot. But I don't know that it necessarily does age well. If you didn't grow up with it, I don't know that you would necessarily like it, because it is it's turn based. I mean, it is turn based, and it's like something that you can play with, and like I'm just so used to it. So I don't know, but I love it. I'm glad it's on Switch. It looks the fucking same as it did on everything else, but I do not care. It runs fine. I fucking love it, and I would say the story is actually pretty good, and there's a nice twist in there if you want to play through it. But yeah, I'm really excited. So you might be thinking,
calm down, Zerdra.
But I'm pretty calm. I just fucking love that game. And yeah, let's start talking about all the kind of games we like. And of course, if you put in the comments and stuff, tell me the shit that you like. For me, I kind of grew up. I mean, like I said in previous episodes, I lived for a lot of my life. Right, I lived in a small hamlet that had very few people, didn't have a lot of kids or anything. When I was in grade 8, my friend ended up moving to the hamlet, so I had somebody to hang out with. But for my early game stuff, I was super late to the party for video games. Like, I was born in 93, so like by the time I was old enough to have certain things, I think certain things that other kids had, I didn't really get. I kind of got older stuff. So like the first game system I remember getting was the NES. And I only had that for a little while. I barely remember having it. It was a hand-me-down from somebody. And we had it for a little while. And then I got a Super Nintendo, which was also a hand-me-down from somebody. One of our friends or something had kids. And I think they probably got their kids a new N64, maybe GameCube. I'm not sure which had been out by that time. But so my mom traded one of my bikes, because they had like a few kids. So my mom traded one of my bikes for the Super Nintendo and a few games, which I still have now. You can see Donkey Kong Country running in the background. I actually just beat that for the first time in my life. I'm very happy. I know it's not a big achievement, but it's fucking hard for me. That was a game I've had almost as long as I can remember. As long as I've had the video game system, it was one of the ones that I got with it. And I've never had the patience to be able to beat it. I would always, die around the around the mine carts or like a little bit after that, but around that area, maybe like, yeah, not very far. And I would just get frustrated and it would fucking piss me off. And I finally beat it. And not with no fucking emulators, not with no save states. I beat it OG style, just on a regular fucking CRT TV with a fucking real Super Nintendo plugged into it. God damn it. But I will say the CRT that you see in the background is fucked. It's really getting annoying. I have to fucking beat it to make it work. Like literally it's like a joke in a sitcom. Like it sometimes works, and like it almost has to get like heated up to stay on, because I'll turn it on and then it'll be on for a bit and then it'll just turn off. And I can push the button, but it usually won't even come back on if I push the button. I literally have to fucking smack it in the back and then it'll turn back on. And then once it's on for a bit, then it stays on, which is nice, but I don't know what's wrong with it. There's sometimes too, but it'll turn off and I just can't get it back on, and I just have to wait. I'll just wait a few hours and then try again and fucking smack it around and then it'll work. But it's like, fuck. I'll be bummed when this dies, like completely dies, because it's like, it's hard to get CRTs nowadays, and they also take up space, which is annoying. So I have it in this room. I don't have it in my other room. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's working. It's like a cool looking kind of tube TV. It kind of has a bit of the old school Mac vibes to it, like those Mac computers that were all colored and shit. Like the bottom of it is like blue and shit and lights up. So that's cool beans. But yeah, it's nice having a CRT while I still have it. But it's not gonna be too long for this world. So like I was saying, so Super Nintendo was the second thing I got. I also got a original Game Boy at some point. I think when I was about 5, I got the original Game Boy, hand-me-down from cousins I had. There's so many things like that from when I was a kid. It's just like, I have no idea what the fuck happened to it. But that was like my second, or I guess my third. That was probably actually my first. I think I got that before I got Nintendo or Super Nintendo. But after I got Super Nintendo, it was a while before I got anything else. I didn't get another system or anything until the Xbox. Actually, that's not true. I got Game Boy Advance. That's what I got. A nice purple Game Boy Advance when those were out. I think I probably got it like a year after or something when they originally came out. But I did have that, so I had a few games for that. And that was great. Pokemon Sapphire was a Pokemon game I had for that. That was wonderful. I don't really remember. I definitely had a few games for it, but I don't remember a ton of games. Once I got, like, that was alright, and that was a fine game system, and I liked it. But once I got my Xbox, that was when I really started to give a shit about video games, or when it was like, this shit got real. Like, I remember, I didn't have the Duke controllers, so that'll probably give you an idea. They were doing the smaller, better controllers by then. But yeah, I got the Xbox. It came with Halo and Amped, I think. Did those come together? I know I had Amped. I think they maybe came together. I don't know. You'd have to tell me. People probably better and with more knowledge of what the Xbox came out with would probably know. But I remember getting the Halo, and just that shit changed my world. I remember seeing the opening scene. I remember sitting on my couch as a little kid, seeing the graphics, being like, holy fuck, this is like another level of shit. Because like I said, I didn't have the N64. I'd kind of seen it. I'd played it maybe once or twice when I was in the hospital at a certain point, and like hospitals where they had like game rooms for kids and shit. So I'd played it like a couple times, but I never played N64. Like that was, and then I never ended up playing really GameCube at all either. I played some GameCube games, like I played Double Dash, and I've played, what the fuck is it? Super Smash Bros. Melee. Those were great. But at the time, like I said, fucking Halo blew my goddamn little mind. I still remember that opening thing where you have to get into the machines. You have to look up and down at the lights, and I was just like, it was all first person. That shit just blew my mind. So ever since then, I fucking love video games. And then from then, I got from Xbox to 360. I didn't get a 360 for a while though, so I never encountered the red ring or anything like that. I ended up getting a 360 for Christmas, probably in 2010, I would say. No. Yeah, probably 2010. So it was after a lot of that shit. It came out, yeah, maybe not 2010, maybe 2009. But yeah, it was an arcade version, and it came with like Kung Fu Panda and Lego Indiana Jones. So because I remember when I got the Xbox 360, my parents went away to Mexico because, like I said, with my immune deficiency, I can't go to tropical. I don't know if I said that before, but I can't go to tropical places where you need live vaccines or anything like that. So I couldn't go to Mexico. So my parents are like, "Well, fuck you, we're going to Mexico." So they pieced out for a couple of weeks and gave me some money. And my mom was so afraid of me using. Like, I swear to God, my mom thinks I'm a fucking retard. But my mom was so afraid of me using the oven that she had made like 2 weeks worth of meals and like froze them and shit. So I'd have to like reheat them every day. And by a certain point, I stopped. And I think I just bought food and started cooking food because it was like, they're all just like the way she packaged them too was like, saran wrap and just on paper plates in the freezer. So they all got fucking freezer burn. It was not great. It was not that great. So yeah, I cooked my own food, but that's what I remember about those 2 weeks is it was winter. I remember there was one day, I was such a fucking nerd. I had $80. I could have definitely got my hands on some booze, on some weed. I could have had a fun time by myself. And one of the days, there was like the bus called and the weather was so bad that the bus couldn't come and pick me up because this is like right around Christmas time. And I could have not went to school. I literally had an out. The bus isn't going to pick me up. I literally did not have to go to school. But I called my aunt that lives next door to me to take me to school. Like, how much of a fucking nerd? And it was like nothing really happened that day anyway because fucking most of the kids weren't there because the fucking buses didn't work. So it was retarded that I even went in the first place. There was like one kid there that was like one of my friends. Everybody else was fucking gone. So it was stupid. Don't you ever think about shit you did? I was like, I'm such a fucking nerd. But anyway, that is all to say that during that whole break, like I had gotten, I think it was maybe, yeah, it must have been on, I don't know when it was, but I know I got maybe it was right after Christmas, but I had my Xbox and Kung Fu Panda, so that's pretty much what I did for those next couple of weeks. My parents were gone. No drugs, no drinking, just some fucking Kung Fu Panda. And I've never even seen the movie. I've never seen either of those movies. But I played the fuck out of that first game. That first game wasn't too bad, I gotta say. It wasn't too shitty. Lego Indiana. You know what's sad? Lego games I cannot play. I'm like too retarded, which is sad because they're like for children. They're for like 5-year-olds, but I get lost. Maybe it's just boring, I don't know, but I cannot play any fucking Nintendo game I've ever tried to play. I've just given up because I just don't fucking care enough. But yeah, but my favorite video games, shit. Like I said, like the things I don't really give a fuck about, oddly enough, are like fairly popular things like N64, GameCube. I do like a lot of games on GameCube. I think the graphics on GameCube are so much better than N64 that it's not hard to deal with, because for me it was like I made a jump from Super Nintendo graphics to Xbox graphics, so then you see that shit in between that and it's so bad, like, and of course it was awesome for when it came out, right? but like I didn't experience it really when it first came out. So for me, it's just like, it just looks like shit, kinda. And so like the N64, I just can't. I mean, it's fun, and I get it, and there's some good games on it, and it fucking moved everything forward. It was good for like super like Mario. Fucking 64 was like the first like third person, open world kind of, not open world, but kind of third person perspective 3D thing. So that was a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I never played it, so I just don't have any memories with it. And yeah, it's just not a big system for me. And like PlayStation, I never really played. I played some Crash Bandicoot games, I think, on the first PlayStation, if they were on the first PlayStation. I had like a neighbor that had a PlayStation, but none of my friends really had PlayStations or anything, so I never played any of that. I got a PlayStation 3 eventually at one point when I was working at Walmart, because there was one for sale, and I just got it because it was like the Infamous games I thought looked really cool, and I actually really did like the first two Infamous games. So I got and played those, but I never really ended up using it for anything else. And then I eventually sold it, which I'm a bit bummed about, because I know there's like those Uncharted games. I had two, I think the first two, and I played a bit of the first one and never played any more of it, never played the second one. I think I still have them too. That was a game I kind of wish I would have tried more, because I probably would have liked it. But my favorite games, so that's like, yeah, those are systems I don't really give a shit about. N64, don't really care about. GameCube is good. GameCube is fine. I didn't really get to play it much, but I think the games on it are fine and good. And I enjoy them. PlayStation, couldn't care shit about. I have a PlayStation 2 from a previous girlfriend that she just had sitting around her apartment. So I was like, I'll take it. And then I just have it sitting around my place, because I have like one game. I was going to get more games for it, but I haven't yet. But I have like one game for it, and I just don't play it. I don't know, there's something too that was like, it was in her apartment. Her apartment was kind of gross. So there's something that's like, feels a little gross about it, and I don't know why. So I just never play it. There's also only, I think, a fucking one game on it, so I just never use it for anything. But yeah, I've gotten a lot of things from girlfriends. There's like, you always hear girls stealing. Well, I mean, I've gotten a lot of sweaters and shit stolen by girls, but I've gotten a lot of shit from girls. Like presents or just shit they've given me. It's kind of nice. But also, it's weird having it. That's one thing I haven't. People like to get rid of shit that their exes and stuff gave them. I think I keep everything, because I'm just like, I don't really care. Like, we're not together anymore. I don't really have any emotional attachment to the shit at all. So it's like, I'm just stoked to have some extra stuff. I mean, it's great. I have a mini Super Nintendo Mini that a girlfriend gave me, because she just never used it. She got it for Christmas and she didn't use it. And I was like, oh, if you're not gonna have it, could I have it? And she was like, sure. And I was like, yeah. So I got that. Fuck yeah, getting shit from exes is wonderful. But I'm gonna get some exes from current girlfriends that you then break up with and then keep all their shit. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto, you should get it. My favorite, I guess I was gonna really get to though. My favorite fucking games though are like Fable. I would say more Fable Anniversary I'll go to now, even though they nerfed the what is it? What the fuck is the sword? The Sword of Aeons, right? They nerfed it. But I love that game. The expansion and shit is nice, and it's like, oh, Fable is just so great. There's supposed to be another Fable game that they're making or something now, I think, right? I feel like I heard about that, which I'm very excited for, because that's a game series I love. And I actually replayed Fable 3 that got so much shit, and it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I remember. I thought it was way worse when I remembered playing it, and just because of the years of hearing people talk shit, and I played it. Not that bad. Not that bad. It's all right. Not as good as the first, though. The original, I think, is always the best. I think a lot of people like the second one, but I just didn't like. I didn't like the armor for the second one. I like stealing. I like the way the stealing was in the first game, and I really liked the way the armor was. The plate armor was fucking ballin'. You can't get armor anymore. It's just like you just get some clothes. It's like you get definitely more customization, but I didn't like it as much. Not as great. So Fable, that's one of my favorite of all time. A lot of these are probably going to be, I mean, they're all newer, like Xbox-ish kind of games, I would say, for the most part. But like, yeah, Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars, like I said, KOTOR. If I just said KOTOR before, fucking love that game. Love KOTOR 2. The new, Star Wars Force Unleashed, the first one. It's a fucking great game. I'm so fucking annoyed that they did not turn that into a movie, because the character model is literally based on the actor, and the actor looked literally exactly like the fucking character. And I mean, he's too old now. It's Sam Witwicky or whatever the fucking his name is. He's a great voice actor, and he does a lot of good shit. He was in the American version of the show Being Human, which was a great show. But he's such a fucking good actor. That game was so good. The story was so fucking good. They should have made that into a goddamn fucking movie when they had the chance, but they can't. And then the second one bombed, so it was a shitty game. And then now they're not going to do anything with him. And he's not even, I don't think, in the fucking canon anymore either. It's just all bullshit. But that is a game I fucking love. I love that story. I love that character. Starkiller. What the fuck was his name? I can't even remember his goddamn name. Yeah, I can't remember, but Merrick? No, Galen Merrick. I think I don't. Oh, there's fucking so many names in Star Wars. But that's a great game. I mean, obviously the old Battlefront games, not the new ones. The new ones are okay. Mirror's Edge, one of my favorite fucking games ever. I love it so much. And I was so excited for the Mirror's Edge sequel. No one ever thought that was going to get made, and it did. And it was like, it's okay. It like wasn't, the story was like different. I don't know. It didn't have the heart that the first one had. The graphics are great. It's like an open world game, which was cool, but it just felt empty kind of. And like, I didn't care about the story at all. And that was like a bit of a bummer. But Mirror's Edge, I've played so fucking much. I fucking love that game. I'll still replay it all the time. That first one is fucking so great. Let me see. I mean, Halo 2 I've oddly played the most. That was the game. Halo 1 I had, but one of my friends broke it accidentally at some point. Or no, wait. Did I break it? No. One of my friends, somebody broke it. It got broken. Anyway, my original Halo got fucking broken. So I didn't have that I had it for a while. But it got broken, and I ended up having my Halo 2, and that's the one I played the most. So I really love Halo 2. I put all my shit up, but you can't see it because my stupid fucking head is right in the way. Well, I don't know if you can see behind, right there, oh shit. I have, what do I have? I have a statue from, Injustice, Gods, whatever the first one was called. Gods Among Us. I don't know if that's the second one. I don't know what the fuck they're called. But I got an Injustice, statue, I guess that's called. Whatever the fuck it came with the special edition. I got Arbiter, little toy there, because fuck, the Arbiter's fucking dope. I got, oh fuck. I forgot what his fucking name is. Nihilus, Darth Nihilus from KOTOR 2, right there. You probably can't see any of this shit. And then I got, if I duck, maybe you can. No, I think they're too far away. But then I got a mini Sega Genesis box there for my mini Sega Genesis. And then I have Harlequin from Jack in the Box from Assassin's Creed. Was it 2? I don't know if it was 2 or there was another one. There was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I think. That Harlequin was from. So yeah, that's just some shit I wanted to put in the corner there for this episode, because I know it's a bit bare. Oh yeah, also, you probably noticed we're in a new room. Like I said, this is leveling up. I got some new equipment today, so it actually allowed me to play those songs and stuff, which probably sounded a bit like shit. I apologize. I might recut just their actual version into this. I'll see how it sounds when you'll know by the time you see this. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about video games and shit this episode. I think I kind of went everywhere. I don't know if it was interesting at all. I apologize. I did want to tell some stories mixed with video games, but I don't know that I really did. So one thing I will leave you with is a story that I can remember that specifically had to do with video games. But when I was younger and I was a teenager, one of the things we would do, and I realize it's super fucked up, and you don't have to tell me, I'm very aware, but South Park actually made a video about this. No, it's not cat piss, but when we were younger and teenagers, a bunch of us, I wouldn't say it's a cool thing, but a thing some of us did for a little while was drink cough syrup. So there's certain kinds of cough syrup that has, obviously, you probably know about codeine. This is not that. This isn't syrup. This isn't like that shit that rappers drink or whatever. This is a certain kind of cough syrup that has DXM in it. And I can't remember dimethyl. I don't know what the fuck. What the fuck the actual name for it is anymore. But it's a drug that's in some cough syrup that gets you pretty fucked up. It's a dissociative, and which I found out later on is like PCP is like a dissociative or whatever. So I guess it's in that kind of line. But it would fuck you up. It also could make you pretty sick too, which wasn't a good part of it. It might make you shit your brains out. But then when it hit, it was like crazy. Like that shit was fucking nuts. I don't know how to describe it with the comparing it to other drugs. It's kind of shroomy, kind of, and that you would get like visuals and like you could feel really, really good. Like it would feel like crazy kind of rushes. You would feel really warm and stuff. It could feel really good, but it could also feel really bad. Like there's a part of it too that you would almost feel like if you've tried salvia, which is, if you haven't tried salvia, don't. There's no reason to. This isn't like a don't do drugs thing. It's just not fun. It's just don't do it ever because it's just shitty. I mean, maybe some people like it, but I think 99% of people I've ever heard do it say it's not fun. It doesn't feel good. Just don't do it. But I would agree with that. But if you've done salvia, then you would probably know that kind of gross feeling. Like it feels dirty in like a weird way that you'd probably only know if you did it. Like you just don't feel great after it. You feel like you just, there's just something yucky. And I would say you get a bit of that feeling when you do DXM and cough syrup is like, kind of doesn't feel good, but it also does feel really good and you fucking trip out. Like, so what I was going to say is I'm going to bring up time. Me and my friend were on it and we were playing the thing I really remember is playing Geometry Wars. And that's a fun game to play if you're ever really fucked up on something. Because we were like hallucinating and shit. And then it makes you feel really, like when it's good, when it's working well and you're not just getting sick, you feel really warm and nice and like, and I mean, it's trippy and it's kind of, no, I wouldn't say, I was going to say it's ecstasy-ish, but I've never done ecstasy, so I can't confirm that at all. But you feel really, really good. You feel waves. I guess it's kind of like shrooms in that way, but shrooms, I would say, doesn't feel as good as DXM does when it's working good, but the problem is you have to deal with all the rest of it, which it can make you really sick and can make you freak out a little bit too much, and like it's just not good. It's also not good for you. It makes you feel sick, like it, and it can also fuck you up if you do it too much. So yeah, just don't ever do it. But when we did do it, we were fucking tripping out, listening to Rush, playing Geometry Wars with all the lights off, just Geometry Wars, and this was on Xbox 360, of course. But so you could play your game, and then you could also have your downloaded music that you took from a CD when that was a thing that people did. And so I remember just listening to Rush, specifically Subdivisions, and Mystic Rhythms. If you know those two songs, those are from some fucking trippy songs. If you got the lights off and if you're tripping on DXM, it's a real good time. And it was actually funny because my dad, back in those days, he drank a lot more. So almost every weekend he was fucking lit. And so my friend was over and my dad came down and we were fucked. Our eyes, because one thing that like DXM does is it fucking makes your eyes go wide. Like your pupil, it fucking blows up your pupils. So we were fucked. We were so fucked. I was so fucking high. I just remember, but my dad was really fucking drunk, so he did not notice how high we were. And he came downstairs, and then we ended up listening to, because at one point I got him Kiss. Kiss had this DVD, not box set, but it was, I guess the thing I got him was a bit of, wasn't a box set, whatever. They had a bunch of editions of this thing called Kissology, and there was a few different editions you could get, and it was just live performances over the years. And so my dad wanted to put one of those in. I got him for his birthday or Christmas or whatever. So we start playing that, and I normally love Kiss. Like, if actually, hold on, just to prove, there's all four of them here. This is like an Ace Frehley. These are my mom's, by the way. My dad got these for her for Christmas once and said that I got them, which was very nice. But yeah, where he got them on my behalf. But so this is Ace Frehley, and we got all of them. We got Gene Simmons, we got Peter Criss, and we got Paul Stanley there. And but yeah, so we were listening to that. We were watching Kiss. Super fucked up. My dad's super drunk, and I hated it. I remember, I think I was maybe texting my friend because my dad was like sitting in between us, I think, and I don't know if I did text him or not, but I just remember feeling like I just hated it so much. And I normally love Kiss, but just the live version, the way the footage looked, it was just all these, the quality of it was like good. Like if you're sober and listen to it, you'd be like, oh, this is fine. This is fine 70s quality live recording, but to me it sounded so bad. It sounded awful. I just fucking hated it. My dad was just having a fun time. He did not notice anything, and it was just ridiculous. But so that was my one story, and I probably have other video game stories. You know, we also would play, like, have a bunch of friends come over, and we'd fucking get drunk and high and play like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, of course, like play 4-player and shit like that. Yeah, but another, just because I was talking about DMT, or DXM, not DMT, I've never done DMT. I don't think I would. I don't think, at a point in my life, I thought I needed it. I don't really think I do anymore. That is yet to be determined, but I think I'll probably die before I try it. But who knows? I guess when you die, you do kind of try it anyway, by the way you're supposed to flood into your brain when you die. I don't fucking know the science, all that shit. Shit Joe Rogan says, and everyone just takes his word for it. But another time I did DXM that I remember is I actually did it when I was in school. So I was in probably the 11th grade. Yeah, I would have been in the 11th grade at this time. And I actually I was in biology, and I had a unit test, and I told my friend before I did it, we were just going to skip class, because that was a class I always skipped, and I was like, don't let me go back to school. Well, the thing you cannot let me do is go back to school. And I ended up drinking it, getting super high, and thought I was fine enough to go back to school, and argued that I needed to do the unit test or whatever. So I fucking go back to school. And because I hadn't been there, because this is a class I skipped all the time, I had to go write my test in the office, because I think the whole class had done it another day, right? And so I'd skipped that day, and then I came in this day, and I should have just skipped it again. But I didn't, so the teacher made me go do it in the office, and I was fucked. Like, I just remember, like, I was tripping so hard. I remember one of the kids I went to school with was like, look at your eyes. So my eyes were just huge, like fucking dinner plates. And so I go in the office. Luckily, I didn't get into any trouble, but I remember just walking across the carpet, and the carpet had like circles and stuff on it. I remember they were just fucking breathing. Every step I took looked like footprints, that I was just leaving these deep footprints in the floor. And I just sat in this room they sat me in, and I think I only probably filled out 6 questions, which of the 6 questions I got wrong, and this is like a unit test, so this is like 4 or 5 pages, and I just sat there not knowing the fucking answers. I was just like, and I just sat there long enough that it seemed like I probably tried the test, but I just wrote some bullshit, only answered a few questions, went back to class, handed it in. Pretty sure she told me she was what's it called? Disappointed in me. I don't know if she said that then or after. Maybe that was written on the test afterwards. But I just remember going back to class, and the whole class was watching Osmosis Jones, that movie with fucking Chris Rock and Bill Murray or whatever, that animated movie that's about the cartoon thing inside of Bill Murray's body or whatever. And so, yeah, I remember just laying down, feeling really good that I could lay down and watch some Osmosis Jones. So that turned into a bit of a drugged story. I don't really mean for that. But, yeah, video games. This went on a lot longer than I meant it to. This is like an hour-long podcast. I apologize. I kind of went a lot of different directions. Oh, I think it was maybe not that entertaining. I apologize. But we're trying to get better. We got some sound production. I got another mixer. We're working on shit. Like I said, this is another room. The lighting hopefully isn't super bad. I have some light shit going on. We're gonna fancy this room up eventually, and maybe get like a green screen or something at some point. But we're fucking working on it. This is, like I said, it's a work in production. Oh, also Fallout. I'm wearing a fucking Fallout hat. I fucking love Fallout 2. I have a bunch of Fallout shit. I said like Fallout 4 is my favorite. I know for a lot of people don't agree with that statement. Fallout 4 is my favorite, personally. Fallout 3, I like. Fallout New Vegas is fine. I personally like Fallout New Vegas that much. I don't know why everybody does. I think it's fine. I don't think it's a bad game, but Fallout 4 is my jam. Bethesda, I like, although they're very glitchy, but I like. Oh, one thing too, Cyberpunk 2077, I like that game. I think it's a pretty goddamn good game. I do have a Series X, so it runs pretty well. I didn't run into that many glitches, honestly. There were a few glitches that were pretty bad, but I just started it, restarted the game, figured some shit out, and I worked it out, and it wasn't that much of a problem. It wasn't like constant or anything, but I liked it a lot. I thought the stories in it were good. It did seem like an unfinished game. I will agree with that, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody made it out to be. Although, to be fair, I do have a Series X where I think it actually worked mostly properly as opposed to everybody else's thing, and I realized there was a lot more promised of the game than came out. But for me, I didn't hear all the shit about it previously. I just knew it seemed like a cool game that seemed interesting, so I pre-ordered it, and I got it, and I still like it. I've beaten it once in an ending I didn't really like, and I want to beat it again in an ending I do like. But, yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Like life, it's not that bad. But, yeah, so, this might have been a bad episode. I apologize. We're working on it. We're trying. So yeah, hopefully you liked this episode. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Maybe it was. Maybe it was a bit boring. I do apologize for that. But yeah, this is Tyler Lacroix once again saying I was gonna start saying I got it a little bad, but you don't got it so bad type thing. But I just there's something to that seems like I'm talking down to somebody or whatever. It's like, oh, you don't got it that bad. But I get it's supposed to be uplifting. It's like sometimes life seems bad. You think you got it bad, and then you look at me and you think I got it bad. But it's like, no, a lot of people have it a lot worse. It's supposed to be uplifting. Hopefully it is. But I don't know if I'll keep saying that. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I do like saying all the different goodbyes, so I think I'm going to keep doing that as corny as it is. I'll have to figure out one way to sign off. But yeah, let me know what you prefer. Oh, this is a bit of a mess. I apologize. But yeah, this is Tyler Lacroix saying goodbye, au revoir, konnichiwa. Is that goodbye? Konnichiwa, bitches. I just know that from Wu-Tang Financial, or not even Wu-Tang Financial. That's from the racial draft of the Chappelle Show episode. But yeah, goodbye. Couldn't talk. Au revoir. Yeah. Konnichiwa, bitches.